warm good evening to everyone. Taking this session ahead, I, Sanjana Sood, would be introducing the speaker for the day, Mr. Kundan Kumar Lal. Mr. Kundan is a well-known global IT delivery and technology professional and early MTech in computational intelligence, is prominent in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies such as computer vision, natural language processing, predictive analysis, anomaly detection, information retrieval, and robotics. Having worked at global IT leadership level for more than 30 years, Mr. Kundan is not only an artificial intelligence evangelist, but doubles up also as a well-respected coach and a guru at Witty. He explores the societal and economical implications at artificial intelligence and machine learning adoption, as well as looks into the possibilities of artificial intelligence synthesis with humans. As a head of Witty Research Foundation, he's driving artificial intelligence adoption for public benefits and ensuring level playing field for India in upcoming artificial intelligence disruption. A big picture follows. Kundan sir helps to look at artificial intelligence and emerging technologies from a broader perspective. Kundan sir today, as a tech leader, is a potent pioneer, blazing new paths few would go down and having the courage to see them all the way through to the end. As pioneer, he has been creating, thinking through, sharing unique ways, continuously testing constructively disruptive ideas and ideas to ensure India's place on the upcoming AI pedestal as a global leader. This is what makes Kundan sir a AI true leader. So I would now request Kundan sir to take this ahead and enlighten us about the opportunities of AI for businesses and entrepreneurs. I would also request the students to put in their questions and queries in the chat box so that sir can address them at the end of the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjana. So let me share my screen. And stop one. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you. So, so let me introduce myself. I heard a lot of good words that night, but in plain language, I'm an IT professor. I have been part of organizations like Sintel, which is known as a TOS now. I have been part of Capgemini, as one of the vice presidents looking after continental Europe delivery. So that is where I launched my own organization, which we call it Viti. Now, Viti is a Sanskrit word. It means intelligence in Sanskrit. And we have got two organizations, Viti, which means super intelligence. When you add a C to Viti, that becomes super intelligence. And Viti Research Foundation, which is a Section 8 non-profit organization. And so this is how we function. I had both organizations at this point of time. The narrative we carry that AI is going to bring a huge impact to us, to our society, to our economic foundations, to our political system, to our industries, to our education system, and that we need to understand. Okay? And especially for budding entrepreneurs, it becomes very, very quick. So, without ado, let me go back to my slides. I'll take you through that journey, and I hope you enjoy that. Okay. So, if you look at this slide, you'll find a guy at the back end. The below this gentleman, these are us, the Homo sapiens, right? We have come to this point. We have taken over this world. We are the most powerful species on this world. Actually, we are destroying the world now. Okay, we have been brought into the red now, right? We are all aware of that. But there is a guy coming up very fast now, and that we call it artificial super intelligence. It's coming up. We are living in a world, we call it ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, but very soon you'll find this gentleman coming up. So let's try to understand the ASI part of it, right? And why there are so much of Ebola, so much of concern around artificial intelligence. So let's look at some of the statements by very sane people on this earth. Okay. Stephen Hawking, I hope you guys know about him. He is no more. He is a very well known as astrophysicist. Book on time. You need to read his books. And he said the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of human race. Could spell. So let's be very clear. Could spell the end of human race. Elon Musk. I think this generation knows Elon Musk a lot. Okay, he came out recently and said, "We are summoning the demon. हम राक्षस बुला रहे हैं." And जब राक्षस आता है तो क्या करता है? हमें खा जाता है. This is what he means when he says we are summoning the demon.
Uh,
This is how AI is playing the role currently. So I'll give you two examples here. The way we do politics, the Trump, he won the election. He became the president of America by only 110,000 votes, 8 lakh 10,000 votes. That is how he won the election. Only in 3 states, that was Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And it is attributed to Facebook AI. So you guys, if you are aware, even if you type half of a word on Google, Google actually carries that out. Even if you have not done the search, Google knows what exactly you are planning to find out. Okay, they are carrying this information. Whatever you are searching, whatever you are buying, every information is being carried, and currently the AI is analyzing it. So they know exactly what your leanings are, how you are analyzing it, how you are thinking, and they can target you for that. So they send up for the Facebook AI, it send out a very simple message. Your friends are going to vote. Are you going to vote? And it put up the thumbnails of your very close friends, because he knows who is your wife, who is your friend, who your kids are, who your buddies are. So it put 10, 12 thumb lines, thumb images, and on that message and sent it out. It resulted in, they say, I mean, that's an analytics there, that it talks about 3,25,000 additional people went out to vote, and they were all right wingers, or they had a leaning towards right wing. I mean, the leaning towards Trump politics. Okay, and Trump became the president of America. Hillary lost it. So that is the power it brings in. Let's give you another example. The way we shop. So every one of us is shopping on Amazon, right? I mean, Flipkart, Amazon. We are buying things, press at home, Lysias, I don't know what else on these e-commerce sites are. Amazon has got a transportation budget or a burden, we call it transportation burden of $3.25 billion worldwide. Okay, so when you buy something and you place an order, and that model is known as shop and ship. So when you buy something, when you shop something, you pay for it, and they send a delivery guy to your home with that product, right? So if you buy 5 things, 5 times the delivery gentleman comes and puts the door at your doorstep. They plan to change it. They plan to reduce this burden of $3.57 billion of transportation. So they plan to change from shop and ship to ship and shop. So one fine day, you will wake up, you'll open the door, you'll find there is a box of Amazon. And in that box, whatever you wanted to buy that day, or whatever you needed that day, that all things will be there. Be the milk, be the fresh vegetables or groceries, or your iPhone or a laptop, whatever you plan to buy, it should be there in that box. You'll just take it out, lift the box with the rest of the items. The Amazon guy will come and pick it away and go. And one single Amazon guy can come to your society and put all the boxes on the front doors. So from shop and ship, they will change it to ship and shop. And this is the AI. This is the power of AI. AI is doing analytics. It knows when you buy, what kind of quality products you buy, what kind of things you are buying it, what you like to buy, what you are searching to buy, either on Facebook or on Google or on LinkedIn, what you are searching, okay, or on Instagram. And on that basis, AI is analyzing and predicting things for you. Okay, so there will be numerous examples. You can go on Google and hit it, you'll find it out. So one trend which is very, very clear, if you look at this trend, open source frameworks, facial recognition, edge computing, predictive maintenance, medical imaging, diagnostics, e-commerce, cyber hunting, these are all machine learning or AI-based algorithm-based technology set, which is trending, which has got a threatening capability now, and the impact on society is going to be huge, very, very high. And these are all AI-based technologies. So if we try to understand that, the trend is very clear. It's like a rain. Rain always goes downwards. So AI is going to be there. But the impact of AI, the technologies will be different. Okay, in next coming years, it will be different. So it is raining, the AI is moving downwards. And if you look at the outcome of the AI in a different way, we cannot predict at this point of time. But one thing we can predict, it is like electricity. It is an electrification which is happening. So when electrification happened, every household, everything we have has got electricity now, right? Similarly, AI is bringing a capacity which we call it the cognification. So every equipment and everything which you have, everything you can imagine which you are using it, be a car, be your fridge, be your TV, be your laptop, it will be cognified. It will be provided an intelligence. An additional layer of intelligence is going to be available in it. So your fridge, it will know exactly, and it is already doing it. It knows exactly what kind of things you have kept it. When your milk is going to become sour, what you need to cook today, it can start giving you an advice. And they are all connected devices over IoT, on Internet of Things. They are all connected. So they are advising, and this is where the smartness is coming. These devices are becoming smart. Okay, that is what we need to understand more of it. So if you look from the Gartner Hype Cycle, the speech recognition or GPU accelerators, these are already on the plateau of productivity. We are using Alexa, you are using Siri on your mobile phones. So I was here on the Gartner Hype Cycle. And the second part, if you look at all those technologies, which is either there is an innovation trigger or which is already going into the trough of disillusionment. Industry is adopting it. The expectations are high. The technology is still not there. You'll see NLP or machine learning or conversational user interfaces. These are all AI-based technology which is there. Okay. The economy predicted the revenue from AI by 2025 is going to ramp up to 35 or 35 trillion dollars, 31 to 35 trillion dollars. It will generate a lot of jobs into this space. So this is something we need to be very much cognitive of. Let me try to explain. What we started from. That what AI is. So if you use the word AI, you will find out a lot of words there. Okay, on Google. Go ahead, Google. And you will find neural networks, planning, ontology, cognitive systems, knowledge, perception, machine learning. All these words actually define the AI ecosystem. So AI is a pretty large word, and that is being defined with all these terminologies and words which is there. But they are part of the AI world. If we define AI, there are two kinds of AI. And the AI where we humans are still in loop, which is augmenting us, is we are making the final decision yet. Okay, and where we are not in the loop, and AI is making a decision. Okay, so let's try to understand where we are in the loop and making decisions yet. There are two kinds there. One is that we teach them and let them loose. They are hardwired. They are specific systems. They go on doing their job, but they don't learn further. They are not evolving. But there, where they are still making decisions, and the system is adaptive in nature, we call it an augmented intelligence. This kind of intelligence we have taught, let them do, they're doing some job, and if we teach them, but they are also learning from what the decisions we are making, how the decisions we are making, and what we are doing. Okay, so they are adaptive systems. Go to the other side of that, where we humans are not in the loop, and AI is making a decision. So there can be a simple type or automation, we call it industrial automation. It's a linear in nature. And you walk into the Volkswagen factory in Munich, in Germany, and you'll find it is completely automated. So there is a conveyor belt, and the car is moving, and robotic arms are working. Someone is putting the screws on, somebody is putting on the door on, the car is moving, it is getting painted by robotic arms, some arm is putting up the glass window, and the whole car is ready at the end of the conveyor belt. Now, but this we humans have written a code there. This is a linear algorithm. These robotic arms are not AI, but the code has been written by us. Okay, so they are linear algorithm, but that's a age-old industrial algorithm or automation. But go down below on the adaptive system side where we are not making decisions, there is an autonomous intelligence. And that's the matter of concern. These autonomous intelligence, we are not making decisions, they are making decisions. I can give you one good example, and that's an autonomous car. The autonomous car has already reached level 3. They are driving people from one end to other. They are delivering pizza. Uber in Philadelphia has already started that service in a very, very urban setup. And they are going to reach level 5, and very soon they will be here in India too. Okay, it needs to be more aggressive when we did come to India, because US people, they drive, they do a lot of defensive driving. We do a lot of aggressive driving, or we call it a-hole driving. So AI needs to be taught differently in India, but it is going to be available. The prediction is by 2030 we humans will be not given license to drive. We'll be not driving on the streets. AI will be driving. The autonomous vehicles will be driving. Okay, they will be ferrying us from one place to another. And the best part is that it will have a huge impact on environment too. Okay, so 1/3 of the vehicles, these autonomous vehicles on the street, can meet the 99.5% of the human transportation need in our urban setup. That is what the power of AI is going to become coming in. So, to understand better, okay, let me try to give you more. The world we are living today, we call it an artificial narrow intelligence world. It's a machine learning world. Okay. Very soon, the world we will enter in, that will be the world of AGI. So Microsoft has given a foundation that is known as OpenAI in US $1 billion to develop AGI technology. US is investing more than $3 trillion into AI technologies at this point of time. China is investing more than 147 billion, actually it is $191 billion into AI technologies. Okay, they are publishing more papers and more implementation than US at this point of time. And if you go and hit some of the news items on Forbes, you will see that AI, US is waking up to this fact that in China has taken a lead into AI technologies. And it's quite dangerous because that's an enemical mission next door to us. So we need to also wake up and understand the potentiality of it. So let me come back to the AGI part of it. So artificial general intelligence is the capability of AI which will be equal to us. So when it will reach to us, that will be known as AGI. And there is fundamental difference if we try to understand that. ANI is something where when you teach something to AI in the current AI world, and you try to teach something else, it forgets. This we call it catastrophic interference. It forgets the last part of the task which you have taught it. Okay. So that is an AI, right? So and that second, the AI today works on in simulated environment, okay, on the base of the sandbox which is there of the software today, and it operates on a structured data set. So some of you who understand what a structured data set is, it is like our name, our address, our telephone number. This is all structured data which goes into a database. Okay, but we humans operate upon five senses, right? And that we call it unstructured data. Your tactical, the touch capability, your olfactory organ, you can smell things, you can hear things, you can see things, and your taste buds. Okay, so these five actually makes our reality, and this is unstructured data. So AGI is started to start understanding and operate as us on unstructured data. That will be AGI. Okay, and it will not forget. So if you learn cycling, or you learn driving, or you learn swimming early childhood, even after 50 years, you are given the cycle, you can drive it. We don't forget. That is AGI, general intelligence. And after AGI, if we put all the humans together, all our cognitive ability, all our processing capability of humans, all the knowledge we have garnered till date on this earth, if you put it to one intelligence, that would be the super intelligence, artificial super intelligence. Okay, that is ASI, and I'll delve a little deeper there, but let's move from that. So the progression of which AI and which is started to be in the next few years, I mean, I cannot predict a long time up. AI will not take over us at this point of time. Okay, probably it will impact our jobs and all, which is it is doing. The automation will bring up, and these AI will have a different kind of intelligence as we humans have. So we humans have a much more complicated kind of an algorithm. We humans are. We have got a spatial intelligence. We have got naturalists. We can sing songs. So that musical intelligence, mathematical intelligence. Okay, existential. We can think about it and go into survival mode as well. We can walk, right? That's an AI, which is a reptilian brain, we call it. So that's an AI which is actually working. I mean, not artificial intelligence, our own intelligence. So these all intelligence we have, the linguistic capability, as I'm talking to you, all are intrapersonal. We can relate to each other and all. So AI will not take over all those things today. It will be probably a natural. It is a spatial intelligence is already surpassed us. So on Google Maps these days when we are not driving using our own intelligence, right? हम रास्ता नहीं पूछते हैं आज के दिन में, हम Google Maps पे डिपेंड कर रहे हैं, which leverages AI. So Google Maps we switch on करते हैं and it takes us from one place to another, and it knows exactly the road conditions, it knows exactly the traffic patterns, and it is predicting things. If you look at it, it tells you 1 hour 50 minutes to reach a destination, you will be there within the 5 minutes of cognizance into that. Okay, so that is the capability. So in some of the areas, the AI is already surpassing us. I'll give you one example later on, but it is already going beyond. So AI is playing a lot of roles today. It's playing a role of a clinician, translator, personal assistant, PIM, a driver. It is ferrying us from one another writer. So GPT-3, which is a BERT actually, a transformer-based AI algorithm, it has been trained on 147 billion parameters. It is already there. And we have been requesting an access to it. We haven't got it yet to that, but we have got an access GPT-2, and you give one word to it, it can write the entire book for you. Okay, that is the capability. It is going to become a soldier. It is a machine operator, a chef. It is cooking food. So there are some restaurants where you can walk in US and Europe and all, where AI is cooking food. You can go and order it, and it cook food for you. Okay, so this is already playing all these roles for you. So that is the AI today's paradigm. Today's paradigm is the federated AI. You will not worry about your data. Your data is going to be safe. AI will learn that and it will give it to the central brain. That's a federated AI. It can do unsupervised learning. Okay, it's already doing it. So you give him a task and it understands from that. Okay, and take out insights just like humans. That is an unsupervised learning. Okay, it can learn from certain tasks. So one robot is doing something, the other can watch him and learn that task. Okay, so this is the capability which is already there. The paradigm is there. Let me give you one example. I gave you just an example for GPT-3 on the down below on my screen. But on the right hand side, if you look at, there is a storyline. Google developed a deep learning platform which is known as it was known as AlphaGo, and it defeated Lee Sedol. Go is a very very ancient game. It's played in Korea a lot, and it is very very complex game. It is very complex than chess. Okay, every move you can make can be virtually infinite on Go, and we were very sure that because it is an intuitive game, AI cannot win. But Google developed a deep learning, which has been taken over by Google now. They developed AlphaGo, which actually defeated Lee Sedol and in 2015, and the world wake up to the fact that AI can learn and play a game like intuitive game like Go and defeat humans. The probability when the Go Lee Sedol was defeated for humans to win from AlphaGo was 4%. That was the probability. Google went ahead and they made another application. They call it Alpha Zero. Alpha Zero never played with any human beings. It played with AlphaGo and it learned in 40 days, only 40 days. The probability of humans from winning from Alpha Zero today is 0%. You cannot win, gentlemen. You cannot win from it now. Okay? Why the hell they are developing? By the way, there is a side story to it. Why the hell these kind of applications or AI-based algorithms are being developed? Okay? We need to understand that when there will be a war tomorrow or the balloon will be up, we will be against AI. These kind of things, which we cannot win. Okay, that is something as an Indian we need to understand. Huge investments are being made currently into these kind of applications. Let's come back to the AI world. So I talked about this Gartner hype cycle. Okay, a lot of AI-based application. If you see, there is already a plateau of productivity. That means industries are using it, from speech recognition to computer vision to pattern recognition. AI, the industry is using it currently in every aspect of it. It is already in, guys. Okay, but if you go on the innovation trigger front, you will find one technology with all these technologies like human augmentation, BCI. So tomorrow, brain-computer interface, and you need to go to the company known as Neuralink. This company was formed up by Elon Musk. What they're doing, they plan to download human brain on the silicon. Okay, they plan to augment human brain with a chip, and they have developed a chip which is implanted in your head. You can hear the music directly. You don't need the AirPods or any headphones now. Okay, so they are working into those. They will augment us, or probably will get embedded. I mean, we'll fuse with AI. We'll fuse with the silica, with the chips which is there. But one technology I wanted to point out here, if you'll be able to read that, that is quantum computing, and we need to understand. I'll delve into it. But before I go there, look at the down below on my screen, and you will see the Industrial Revolution 1.0. It happened due to steam. We were not party to it. The India was not party to it. It happened in Europe. They developed the steam ships, machine guns, railway engines, whatnot. Okay, and we became slaves for 200 years. Okay, the Industrial Revolution 2.0, it happened due to electricity. It created the Great Divide. The developed nations which consumed electricity, and obviously they're also the reason for a lot of pollution, the maximum, I mean the huge impact of pollution which is happening in these developed nations. They consume electricity. Okay, they generate products, but they are consuming electricity. They created the Great Divide. The underdeveloped countries and developed nations. They are still developed nations. We are catching up. We are still playing the catching up game. So we are not developing nations. We are not underdeveloped now. We are developing nations. In the Industrial Revolution 3.0, when it happened due to computing, and that's the time India caught up the world. Today, we are producing around $287 billion worth of IT exports. We are doing it. 3.5 million people, our people are working into IT industry. We cater to 55% of the global software need from India. Okay, we got it. And that's the wonderful part of it. We are, I mean, I was in US, I went to take a home there in Alpharetta near Atlanta. And that lady asked me, where are you from, Mr. Lal? I said, I'm from India. And she asked me, what do you do? I said, I'm a software engineer. And she said, oh, you're a smarty. So that time I didn't understand, but later on I understood the meaning of this slang is smarty. We earn better. We Indians are doing good job in US. We are heading a lot of corporations there. You are already aware of about it. Microsoft, Google, all are headed by Indians now. Even IBM are being headed by Indians now. Okay, so we are known as smarties. We save money. We are a family people. Okay, and that is what they like, and they call it smart. We live good. So we have part of the world. World has woken to the fact to us that Indians are good. They are smarties, right? But we have to look at the fourth revolution which is happening. That is intelligence. That is Industrial Revolution 4.0. If we are not going to be party of this, India is already left out into this revolution by 2 decades now. And if we are not going to be party on Industrial Revolution 4.0, probably we are looking at a permanent slavery this time, because this will be not needed. This cranial, ये खोपड़ी, ये दिमाग, इसकी जरूरत AI खत्म कर देगा. So we need to be very, very cognizant about this fact. We need to be party to this Industrial Revolution. We are left out by 2 decades now. So let's go back to the AI world. And the quantum, I was talking about quantum. Quantum AI is going to change the world. And let me try to make you understand why I'm saying it. Okay. So this Khopri, this brain of ours, it does around 10 to the power 26. I mean, quadrillion computations per second. 10 to the power 26 quadrillion computations per second. A supercomputer today, like Hunan 1 in China, it does around 32 quadrillion computations per second. So 26 quadrillion, we operate at a speed of around 10 meters per second. Okay, and Hunan 1 operates at the speed of light, right? So quite powerful, but it is not capable of modeling a human brain there. We can't do that on a supercomputer. But a quantum computer, 100 bits quantum computer, is going to be more powerful than a supercomputer on this earth. And it is already there. So you must have read about the Google supremacy on quantum computing. They developed only 72 qubits of quantum computer. It is already there. If you are interested, you can go to Microsoft Azure, you can go to IBM Domex, and actually you can start doing coding leveraging qubits. That is a quantum computer. Okay, it's a different computing. I'm not going to delve into it, but it is different, fundamentally different than the laptops and computers today which we have. It operates on 0 and 1. It operates on one probability bit more, 0, 1, and one probability. So one, it can be, both can be 1, both can be 0 as well, right? So that's quantum. So, but Regity, they have come out already with 128 qubits. So the most powerful supercomputer today on Earth has been surpassed by quantum. And they say that if when we develop 500 qubits of quantum computer, it will be more powerful than all computing on this earth. All your mobile apps, all your mobiles, your laptops, your servers put together, the 500 qubit quantum computer will be more powerful than that. Okay, let me give you try to make you understand that your current supercomputers, if you want to give them to read a library, a very large library like Congress Library in US, you give it read. It can read one book and one by one, right? And probably in a few hours it can read all the books. Probably 1 hour at time, because it is around some exabyte, so it will read all the book into the Congress Library. But if you give it to quantum computer, it can read all the book in 1 second. Okay, that is the power we are talking about. Okay, so we need to understand that, gentlemen, we are not there in quantum computing market map. If you look at, and that's a signal for all the entrepreneurs, the budding entrepreneurs, from quantum encryption, hardware, software, building quantum computers to quantum AI, optical quantum computers to quantum cloud computing and quantum circuits. There is no Indian now. We are not. We doesn't exist there. Very few of our educational institutions have got some focus on quantum computing today. Government of India is putting probably some bits of money into quantum computing. We need to wake up to that and see that we need to start working into that space very, very aggressively. And I will exhort all the budding entrepreneurs to start thinking to join hands here and see that we are party to this fourth revolution on quantum. 2045, the prediction is that the brain power, all human brain power together, AI will surpass it. By 2023, AI will surpass the human brain power. I do believe that probably we have already done that with quantum computing. Okay, if quantum AI is being leveraged, we are not aware, but probably it has gone beyond it. So we need to wake up. The time is there, it is already there. Okay, so this is the AI knowledge map. From symbolic world, we have already moved to the statistical world. Okay, where we are leveraging AI algorithms. Very soon we'll move into sub-symbolic world, or in other words, all the applications we have written today, CRM, SCM, or supply chain management, or a customer relationship management, all your ERPs, and every software, your web interfaces, your intranet, you put together all those things. We have written around, we humans have written around 10 billion lines of code. All will get replaced by AI in coming decade. Every aspect of our life, every knowledge field is AI is impacting us. Be it psychology, sociology, management, linguistics, biology, practical, everywhere which is getting impacted. We need to wake up to that fact. These are some of the predictions, gentlemen. The technological singularity, it is inevitable. We want it and we don't want it. It is coming in there. Okay. So probably by 2030, I said we will not get the license to drive. Everything will be driven by AI. Be it trucks, be it cars, be your taxis, everything will be driven. You will be just calling them from your mobile application. AI autonomous vehicle will come, it will wait for you, pick you up, drop to the place, and the cost will be very, very negligible. It will be writing the top pop songs. It is already there. If you go on Spotify, on Emily Huey, and you find it out, it's an algorithm. It's an AI which is writing those songs, and you need to hear that. Okay. The retail salesperson you will meet in your malls, they'll be all AI. Okay. Probably by the best write of the books will be written by AI by 2025, 45 to 2050. Okay. We will not be able to differentiate between a humanoid and a human by 2050 on. Okay, next 25, 30 years, they will be there talking to us, sitting across. Have you seen Sophia? If you haven't, go to YouTube and see Sophia. Sophia can smile, she's smiling, she can become sad, talk to you. Okay, so you need to go and take that example. So it is inevitable, right? Moore's law is getting uprooted, it is already disrupted, okay, with this new physics. and move. So where this AI is today, if you're on human parity, if you look at on object recognition, it is 96% by 2016. So probably it is gone beyond us. On speech recognition, it is already beyond us. It is making only 5.1% period. We humans make 5.5%. On machine reading and comprehension, what you do, read the essays and write about it, it was already there in 2018, 88, 90% around near to us. On machine translation, it was 70% in 2018 March. After all this COVID and all, probably it has already gone beyond us. It is translating things. You have got a simple app and talk to any Japanese using that app now. Okay, translate into English quickly. So it is catching up. I will not delve into it, but it tells only one storyline, and you guys can go deeper into it. We call it causal entropy maximization, which tells us that God has not created intelligence on this earth. Entropy has done that. That is the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, and the kind of data we are generating, and it will become intelligent in coming days, and we will get fused to that. That is the bio-digital fusion. That's the word which is coming in. We'll be augmented by AI. We'll be leveraging AI in every aspect of it. Lot of areas it is being worked today, like whole brain emulation, where they are looking at your brain, human brain, slicing it up, looking at your neural map, and developing a whole neurons into silicon, a virtual entity of yours. So tomorrow, you will find me on virtual entity. So you can talk to me on virtual world, and I'll be there, and he will be learning from me. So when you will walk to your home, that virtual entity or the emulation will know exactly what you want to eat today. Okay, where do you want to go? What kind of planning you are doing for your vacation? It will know exactly that. So this will be the emulation available on the cloud for you. Okay, IBM has come out. They call it a brain in a box by 2020. It is actually headed by Medha, who is an Indian only. So and brain in a box by 2020. I don't know where they are. 2020 has gone 2021. Obviously, due to COVID, they'll be delayed. But IBM, you know how it will function. So by this year end, probably you will have that brain in a box. That is like a seed interface or seed AI we call it. ये बच्चा है जिस बच्चे में जब when we take birth, we have got only 30% of our brain neurons. Okay, we have got around 10 to the power 78 neurons into our brain. So we have got only 30% of. We become adult at the age of 21. We develop the 100% of our neurons into our brain. Okay, after that it starts declining. But that is how our human brain works. That is what the seed AI they call it. They'll develop this brain in a box and live it like us. They will start learning from the environment and they will learn fast. We learn over 21 years, become adult. They will become adult in 21 months or 21 days. I don't know. Okay, so whatever it is, it will start learning very, very fast from us, right? Brain computer interface, I discussed with you, gentlemen. Let's go back. Why should we worry? Okay, try to understand that. Why should we be worried? Look at this intelligence staircase on the left hand side of my screen. You'll find we humans, we are the most intelligent people, right? We operate between 90 to 140 IQ level, right? Two stair down below us is the chimpanzee or gorillas. Okay, these chimpanzees and gorillas also does have an IQ. They operate between around 30 to 40 IQ level. Okay, probably they are the next intelligent beings. You go to a gorilla and try to explain trigonometric theorem to him, or probably algebra, okay, or whatever you are comfortable with, some abstract like mathematics and all. Try to explain to it. वो क्या करेगा मेरे को मालूम नहीं. Take your precautions, but एक थप्पड़ जरूर मारेगा. Okay, so you operate humans operating between us, operating between 90 to 140 IQ level. We cannot explain trigonometric theorem or any abstract sciences to a gorilla, right? Go down a few stages down below. There's chicken, right? Chicken also has an IQ level of around, say, 5 to 10 or 15, or right? They also give eggs, rear up their children, and all those. They know about it, right? What we do with them? करोड़ों में रोज मार के खा जाते हैं. Chicken tikka, chicken malai curry, chicken tandoori. I don't know. I mean, chicken chili. Humongous amount, right? So we people, we humans, operating between 90 to 140 IQ level and 100 below to us, chickens, we eat them day in. We are insensitive to that. We eat them day in and day night, right? Go down just below a few more. There are insects are there, right? They also operate between around 5 IQ level or 10 IQ level. We are learning from them, by the way. We call it swarm computing in AI. So we learn how they operate with ants and bees work together and how AI can work together. You must have heard about collaborative drone. Okay, so this is an AI-based collaborative drone. It's a big threat now to India. Srinagar, it has been already a drone attack has happened. A collaborative drone attack means hundreds of drones will be working together to attack you. Okay, if you watch Black Mirror, please go on Netflix and watch that on a collaborative. That is swarm computing. We are not safe. That's AI. What we have done with them, these 100 below IQ level people, we have obliterated. तुम्हारा अभी तक में तुम्हारे रूम्स में मच्छर और मक्खी नहीं है, right? We have got so many things. Hit है हमारे पास, ultraviolet है. I don't know what kind of things we have actually done a chemical warfare against them, right? So we humans operating between 140, 90 to 140 IQ level has obliterated the world all around below us. Go to the right side of my screen. So all this biological range of intelligence on this earth, from us down below to the insects, is there down below. Artificial general intelligence will operate at 5,000 IQ level. That is what the prediction is. And artificial super intelligence will operate at 12,500 IQ level. It will come out with innovations, theorems, thought processes, leadership, which we humans will be not even able to appreciate it. Okay? And this is the big problem. The problem is that tomorrow, if they feel it and they want it, they can obliterate us in few seconds. You know how in COVID-19 we have been locked in our homes, right? So many of us died due to one small virus, right? Small, I mean, we can't even see that, gentlemen, this COVID-19. So you can well imagine how vulnerable we are. And a technology like that can create havoc with us. And I'll give you one example. We may tomorrow develop ASI and operating at 12,500 IQ level. And we go to him and say, hey, you are so intelligent. Why don't you obliterate hunger from this earth? Bhook ko khatam kar do, right? That's the biggest problem we face. And this artificial super intelligence may do the analysis and come back and say कि ये भूख लगती किसको, ह्यूमंस को. तो अगर ह्यूमंस को खत्म कर देंगे तो भूख भी खत्म हो जाएगा. Now, so this instantiation, this pervert instantiation, this is what the fear is. We call it pervert or perversion. Okay, so this will be a pervert instantiation. AI can do that. Okay, we are also capable of doing it. So AI take off and the imminent intelligence explosion is there, people. Either we will be going towards immortality or we will be going towards extinction. This is the fear factor. We need to understand. So where is AI today? It has reached to the मच्छर के बराबर है उसका आज के दिमाग. 2.5 million neurons on deep learning platforms. It is lower than a mosquito brain. Very soon we'll reach rat brain. Then we'll reach AGI, which is human brain, and then collective human intelligence, that will be ASI. Okay, so that is the progression, and that is the exponential growth we are looking at. So the world, I believe more on that we will. I believe I'm more positive in nature. So I believe we will achieve divinity. Probably we will achieve a longevity, or AI will be helping us, augmenting us in living longer, in having a world which will have a lot of collaterals, like mixed reality, where we'll be interacting with technology in 3 dimensions, like a mixed reality or AR, VR platform. We will leverage AI to bring our Earth back to the greener side of it, and we will escape from aging. Because today we are developing a lot of, if you know about genetic engineering, those technologies like CRISPR has been developed where your DNA can be taken and a targeted medicine can be developed for one of the symptoms like Wolf syndrome or probably diabetes. They are working on diabetes, cancer and all. So that this can be done. Those kind of medication can be prepared. But we don't know exactly out of 700 million genomes into your DNA, how many more needs to be impacted so that we stop becoming old or we can escape from aging. So we age and die, right? So death will be no more a formality. We may overcome that. Okay. So artificial superintelligence is started to predict that and tell us that when we do those changes into our DNA, what will then happen? And probably we'll learn to develop those kind of medications. This come Amrit bolte hain, right? So those kind of medication to give us the longevity or immortality we are looking for. So this AI side, we'll become more worried about good AI and bad AI. So you will hear about words like responsible AI. Okay. And that is the fight which is going to come in very soon. And this will be all about governance, validation, ethics, security, control, foundations, verification, because AI is a black box. It is like us. You cannot test it. You cannot do a software testing like white box testing or black box testing. It's a black box. So it will be tested by another AI. Okay, it is like us. You can ask them. You will need a psychologist actually, an AI psychologist, to understand this is a good AI or a bad AI. And there are a lot of examples. It is already creating about some point of time. I'll probably come back with more examples for you there. But you know, the AI is being leveraged in transport in US airports when you fly to US, and every time you'll hear that, and it is quite biased. They say it is quite biased. They have been trained to be quite biased. So every time Shahrukh Khan flies to US on airport, he's actually detained for an hour or more because generally he travels alone and he has got a Muslim name, right? So it's quite biased. They say it needs to be trained, and that will become more focused, more louder in coming days. Biased AI, and let me tell you, in your loan application to bank, AI being listed. So if AI is biased, he will give loan to a Punjabi gentleman, but he will not give loan to Bengali gentleman because he will feel a Bengali gentleman cannot succeed into the startup industry, or he cannot be a good entrepreneur, where the Punjabis does have that into their DNA. That is the biasness of data which AI can learn from us and start giving loan into a loan application into banks. And AI is being leveraged into by the banks these days. And it is becoming very, very, I'm aware of it, it is becoming very, very prominent. So AI, Sanskrit is being taught in a language which is unambiguous, more very rich in grammatically, more than 4,000 rules into one. And for AI world, it can be leveraged to talk to artificial intelligence. Good AI and bad AI, our Upanishads are being taught, a lot of research going on to give us a mathematical model. And this is something we need to start working. It is not happening in India, by the way. So we need to start focusing upon this kind of inheritance we have to see that these models on ethical and governance is developed in India too. We need to take a lead. So AI is suggested or is being touted to lead us from Homo sapiens to Homo Deus. Homo sapiens, we are we humans. Homo Deus is Devdas, right? So we are fighting with war, famine, and disease today. AI will help us to go to a world which will give us immortality, a divinity. It will take away all the jobs. रिक्शा नहीं चलाना पड़ेगा हमें, right? Drivers 8-8 घंटा 9-9 घंटा हम गाड़ी में नहीं बैठे रहेंगे, ड्राइव करते रहेंगे. Humans are not designed for doing that kind of work. We'll be not working and toiling like our farmers in our fields for 24 hours, 24 into 7, right? So this kind of a toil will be taken away. All repetitive jobs will get automated. That will give us some divinity. That will bring it to a point where we humans will be doing something which we are being designed for. God has created us. So we'll be talking about immortality. We'll be not afraid of it. Happiness index, happiness and divinity. So from war, famine and disease, we'll move to immortality, happiness and divinity. And that is going to be the focus of the world in coming decades with AI. Another aspect we need to be very, very, the ASI is like Thanos. So some of you younger guys knows what Thanos is, right? The singleton. It can destroy the world. And let me try to tell you that when nuclear bomb was developed, the world, the people who developed it, the countries who developed it, they immediately understood that's a strategic advantage, right? This is a strategic advantage. And when they understood it, they immediately put up a non-proliferation treaty in place. We were devoid of this technology. It took 32 years for us to India to develop our own nuclear capability. We did Pokhara in 1974. When they developed the Star Wars, the missiles, ICBMs and IRBMs, they understood this is a strategic advantage. They can put up a bomb 5,000 kilometers away without even going to that country. And they put up a ban on cryogenic engines quickly. Okay, we became party to it after 25 years when we put our first rocket into space. When they will develop artificial superintelligence or AGI, we will not have any chance to develop that technology. Because AGI or ASI will convince us to be slaves. The food will be on the table, the transport needs will be met, but what we will not have is the freedom. We need to be cognizant of this fact. Okay, and they will do have that capability. So we I call it this is a strategic advantage. It will be a runaway innovation. As the AI walks into innovation cycle, it will be a runaway. We humans can work on 10 technologies, but artificial general intelligence or artificial narrow intelligence is already working on innovation. They can work hundreds of technologies in a single instance. So it will be a runaway innovation, and that is what is happening now. It is speeding up. The innovation is speeding up leveraging AI. They are designing things. They are designing new vehicles, new rockets, new technologies. AI is designing another AI. If you read Google, Google AI has created their own AI. Okay, so it is reproducing itself. So AI walking into innovation cycle will is resulting into runaway innovation. We need to start working. We need to start researching into that and investing into AI space quickly. If you look at, we are not part of Industrial Revolution 4.0 today. Top 100 AI-based companies, none of them are in India. Look at top 100. They're all in Northern America. China is catching up very fast. If you read the book from Lee, and that book is about AI superpowers, US and China. He talks about US doing all the research and China doing all the implementation, research and implementation. Okay, they are already counting themselves to be superpowers. And this time, this technology, there will be no catching up. We need to understand that too. So we need to invest. A lot of investment is happening into IT sector on AI, but all other sectors have got very minuscule investment which is happening in AI, but it is speeding up. And if you look at from consumer electronics to management consulting, AI is being leveraged now. AI is being invested upon, okay, and being worked upon. AI is all around you, gentlemen. It is into automotive, to manufacturing, to real estate, retail. You go on naming. AI is impacting every industry, right? What are the areas which AI is currently working upon? Real-time optimization, strategic optimization, predictive analytics, predictive maintenance, radical personalization, discover new trends and anomalies, forecasting, process, unstructured data. This is what AI or artificial narrow intelligence is today working upon. Every sector, if you look at, be it telecom, media, energy, agriculture, healthcare, all are impacted one way or other. So darker green is the area where the impact is going. Okay. Two things we need to understand. Where there is a data and there is a return on investment, AI is walking it. So there is a larger data richness is availability and there is a lot of impact in terms of return on investment. AI is already there into that use case. And that is how industry or government or society is looking at. You guys need to understand that. Look at and where there is a not data richness is not there, infrastructure are being put in place like IoT and all to increase the data richness. And as it becomes more data rich, AI will go. So AI is there due to three things. We have become more digital. There is a ubiquitous networking available. So we are working on 4G. Very soon 5G is getting rolled out, which will have 475 times more faster than 4G technology. Okay, and more data is becoming available. Exabytes of data we are generating today, every day. Okay, so that is the reason AI is there and AI is going to persist and work with it. So these are some of the areas, the data richness and the ROI. We need to understand the impact where AI is going to walk into industry. The kind of a jobs which will be left out to us. The jobs which needs creativity and strategy and compassion, those jobs will be left out to you. And jobs which can be optimized and there is no compassion needed, those jobs will walk in. So where there is an empathy and creativity, the jobs will be there. We need to be aware of that. So if you look at that, jobs, less creativity and strategy and no compassion, gone from us. Jobs which can be optimized, which is repetitive in nature, like radiologists, drivers, security guards, those jobs will become. And compassion is not needed, those jobs will be gone. Jobs which needs compassion and can't be optimized, Those some of the jobs listed left out was like elderly companion, teacher, a wedding planner, an elderly and teacher. By the way, read. Okay, so that can be also overcome. Not today, but tomorrow. Okay, the jobs which needs a lot of creativity and strategy, like CEOs and acquisition and mergers and dentists or doctors. Those jobs will be still with humans. They'll be leveraging AI a lot of automation, and where there is an optimization can be achieved and compassion is still needed. They'll be using AI in larger sense. More impact will be there, but humans can be still the front face. But all below jobs, AI will take over where there is no. So jobs below 60K, $60,000, these are the jobs that are under risk today. Okay. And this bar will go up as the technology progresses and matures. Okay. So at today's standard, jobs like waiters, cashier, retail sales, personal care aides, store clerks, customer service representatives, they are all in red. AI is taking over. More likely to be on. So what we need to do, we need to become critical thinkers. We need to become humans who can push the envelope. This is what needs to be taught to us. This is not what will be needed in job markets in coming days. We need to start living a naturally curious life. Okay? We need to become somebody who cannot be easily overwhelmed. We need to start loving math and science. AI is based on math and statistics. So we need to become a little better into that. Even engineers today, engineering colleges, the mathematics and statistic focus has reduced. We need to become more there, right? So jobs like food preparation, construction, they'll be all taken away by jobs. The impact will be more. The automation will be more there. Okay. So let's understand those kinds of things, those scenarios. The world which is coming in, it will be an hyper competitive digital enterprise. The world AI will take it, is taking to us world either being an institution or being an industry or being a government. We are all going to become a hyper competitive digital enterprise. The world will become declarative. We will not wait for something to happen. AI will predict about it and will take care of it. So it will become declarative instead of imperative. Okay, it will bring foresight instead of hindsight. We will not write standard operating procedure after a train accident happens. We'll predict a train accident is going to happen and we'll take preventive measures to stop it. Okay, the data will become, the memory will become abundant. It is already there. Okay, we'll be not writing codes. So if you look at McKinsey report which they presented in NASCOM in 2017, they said 65% of the IT jobs are going to go away in coming few years. Okay, they'll be automated. The world is no more going to need coding people, testers, coders in IT world, or project managers, or even delivery heads. AI needs training. It needs data and training. So it will be not writing, it will be training algorithms. Okay. Moore's law is disrupted with new physics. World will be more justified. I mean, it will be more just. World will be more just because it will move from central authority to a distributed world, and it is already impacting. Like social media, anything happens in world today, everybody becomes aware by tomorrow by Twitter and WhatsApp. Right? We are making our opinions. We are guiding the world and governments now. So it will be more just and fair world. That is what AI is bringing. From proprietary, it will become an opportunity for us. So data will be no more a burden, it should be an opportunity. And if you are, and if anybody, any institution, any industry, any government, if you don't have an AI strategy, you are going to die in the world that is coming. That is David Wing, CEO of eBay. And I completely agree with that. So we are looking at what? We are looking at an emerging world, gentlemen, a new world order. You can go and hit a site known as Partnership on AI. All these companies like Google, IBM, Microsoft, Apple, they have all made hands. And we need to understand, Apple revenue is larger than the 17th country in this world. It's such a large immensity. They have all made hands. And they have created this site Partnership on AI and adopted a strategy, they call it AI first strategy. हम जो भी करेंगे AI को आगे रख के करेंगे. They are sharing knowledge. They are sharing IPs together. Okay, we need to wake up to this. We need to start working in tandem today as an India, right? We need to become party to this, which is happening. The countries of work, they have also adopted strategies, AI first strategy. Okay, they were all doing and working towards AI. A simple security measures, I can tell you, CIA is working on 140 projects on AI 10 years back. So you can well imagine the impact on internal security and all are going to come. We are looking at a new world order, gentlemen. US is investing more than $3 trillion into NLP, machine learning applications, computer vision, technology platforms, intelligent robots. Okay, they are going to fight the war for them tomorrow. The exoskeletons, drones, self-driving and assisted driving, a processor and computer chips. They call it neuromorphic computing. So AI will be available on hardware. You'll be not talking about flops or floating point operations on your chips. We have started talking about synaptic operations per second, just like our human brain. Speech recognition. We need to wake up. Look at, understand, this guy, right? Putin. He recently came out and said artificial intelligence is the future, not only for Russia, but for all humankind. It comes with colossal opportunities, but also threats that are difficult to predict. Whoever becomes the leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world. He is unequivocal. He is very, very clear. AI, these countries are going to leverage to rule the world. We need to also see that we are party to it. Okay, we need to ensure that we create a level playing field. We need to ensure for our kids, our next generation, they get a level playing field. They are not become, they don't become subservient. Their freedom of expression is not snatched away. We need to be aware of that. Maximum investment on deal shares today happening in Northern America. If you can look at that on AI global deals here, China has already surpassed in AI IP generation and publications, and we are zero, virtually zero. Our institutions are zero. Our universities are zero. Our schools and colleges, we stand at zero today. Okay, we need to wake up and start working. What we do? So it is kind of a thing. If you try to understand, India is on a cusp of century's biggest opportunity for startups, for you guys, for entrepreneurs, for educationists, for industrialists. We are there. Our GDP is there. We have got the largest roads, longest roads. We have got a big GDP income. All are there. All the enablers are there. We have got 3.5 million people working in IT space who can be retooled and reskilled into IT. We are producing largest number of students. We can reskill, retool them, or retrain them into AI aspect. Okay, see that they start leveraging. So we stand on the century's biggest opportunity. If we are able to leverage it, probably we can become the visual. Okay, that's the dream we need to have and we need to work upon. What we do from Viti, we are establishing AI innovation hubs across India. Our target is 100 of these AI innovation hubs into academic institutions and industries across India. Coordinate them. So we are establishing AI innovation exchanges also. Bring the projects to academia so that the students not only learn the technology, they can also dirty their hands. We can help faculty development pretty quickly. Okay, we have got a very large dearth of teachers there into AI world, or AI EFT, I call it, AI emerging and foundational technology. We need to upgrade them quickly and see that they are not only upgraded, they continue working into that field. They continue learning about it. And that's only going to happen when we meet hands and they learn and work through projects. We are working on a lot of projects currently with industry, with PSUs, and we plan to bring these projects to academia, take their help, and we are doing it with a few of the ITs today, a few of the triple ITs also, and universities also. We're leveraging them. We are working with them on delivering these projects. These centers are going to be the dynamic delivery center. Okay, this is what we are doing with them, and that is what the dream we have. These are some of the enablers which are there into our AI innovation hub. We talk about high performance computing. We talk about neuromorphic and VLSI design. We talk about IoT labs there. We talk about AR VR labs, which is the next generation. We'll be not using our telephones and laptops tomorrow. Our glasses itself will become our world. It is already happening. You know, Apple glasses, it was supposed to get launched. Google glasses, you're well aware about. HoloLens of Microsoft. GeoLens, they have launched, Reliance has launched one. They are calling it GeoLens. ArenaLens, it's a new startup. They have started also on a mixed reality platform. So all of our world will be here. Okay, we'll be interacting with all of our social media, with emails, everything in front of us. and we will also talking to each other. Okay, so this is, and it will also double up as an incubation center. We can handhold, help startups to go to the next stages, ensure funding for them, ensure right kind of projects. Even startups today, I find them out, they are struggling with applications to develop, and we are hand-holding them, helping them in developing AI-based applications. Okay, guide them, train them up so that they can launch their product and become successful. Okay, so we are all places. We call it AI for all, and that's the alignment which we have with the Niti Aayog also on business to academia, B2B, B2C, and B2G. A lot of courses we have launched, we are working on, and we continue planning to be working into this direction from skill development through with the research foundation under CSR funding, or developing applications and products like Doody and Sartek on which have got large impact on environment and education systems. Not only doing that, but we are also launching mandatory courses or courses which have got a lot of project importance or internship oriented or project oriented courses. So we call it project based learning and challenge based learning, so that our students, our people can come up fast into AI space and we start competing. A lot of domain we are working on, from healthcare, finance, agriculture, trade and logistics to education. A lot of this BT Foundation, which has got these projects, have got a lot of socio-economic impact and public benefit involved on environment, on education. We are working on CSR funding and impact funding. So please do join me. Join me on LinkedIn group like AI for Humanity and Women of AI. Please do join us there on Facebook, on Instagram. On we have got AI community hurdles, industry leader town roundtables, and group of vice chancellors. We are promoting these to see that we take a cognitive direction, a right direction in this case. Thank you, everybody. So this is my number, this is my email. If you feel like, do join us. I'm always available, people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have few questions in the chat box. If you could just answer them.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. The first is from Nitesh Diwan. He has asked, in 2020, an Iranian nuclear scientist was killed using a satellite-controlled weapon. For the first time, a machine gun was controlled remotely using advanced cameras and AI. AI is expected to reshape warfare in the coming years. We all know how China is investing heavily on AI. What are your viewpoints as an industry expert and an Indian who has close enemy Pakistan and China? The soldiers we have at Saichang Glacier are safe with this AI technology?
So we are at this point of time. I got a few of. I mean, I've been party to training some of our internal security people too. So the agencies we are working with. Let me tell you my perspective. If you look at my perspective, I don't know the government perspective, more of it. That we are at a huge risk. From if you understand the security perspective, from deepfake, okay, which can change the narrative itself. Okay, they are there. They are AI is intervening into deepfake. Actually, we are working with a startup into deepfake space to not only detect deepfake and on the videos and on the voice, audio deepfakes, but we can create deepfakes too. Okay, so it's a very powerful tool which has got a very large social impact, and you people are already getting impacted by deepfake today. Okay, so all these videos which is generated by AI, so you will hear suddenly Obama is singing a song, or a Northern Korean dictator is singing with Trump, right? And Modi is playing a drum. So all that is a deepfake AI-based video which is being generated. Okay, you can well understand it can create riots, it can disrupt society. Okay, so deepfake is one. Lethal autonomous weapons like drones, collaborative drone attacks, technologies like Maven, which Google developed with U.S. Defense. They have got a drone which flies above. They can identify. They don't need your facial recognition to do it. They can look at you, the way you're walking, the kind of clothes you're wearing, and they know who you are, and they know your actions. If they perceive it is threat, they can destroy it. You can be neutralized. I mean, in simple words, the drone can kill you, and AI can kill you in few seconds. Sea Hunter program of US, they have launched the Pandubi, right? The submarines. It is an AI-based nuclear submarine which is sitting down below sea. They don't need any humans. They are just below in the sea, all roaming around across the globe. And when the balloon is up, they can attack any country, any ships, okay, any warships, any frigates, any submarines. They can just destroy them. They don't need humans. It can be under the sea for years waiting for taking orders, right? So that kind of program, Sea Hunters, Maven, all those programs have been launched and they are already at a level where if we, next war, I always say that next war is not going to have a collateral damage. Cities will be not destroyed with nuclear bombs. We and you will be not there. We will get killed by this AI. We'll be fighting with this AI, exoskeletons and soldiers and autonomous weapons. This is what we'll be fighting against. Okay? So we need to understand we are at a very great risk at this point of time. We need to start competing, start working on that, and see that we create equalizer. We create a level playing field. That is the only way we can be safe. We can play in this way.
Okay, so the next question is, you mentioned about AI surpassing human intelligence by 2045, but Elon Musk clearly said in many interviews that it's not possible. What is your take on it?
See, what Elon Musk said, I don't know. Elon Musk has been saying about AI in a multiple ways. Bill Gates came out and said, we don't understand. See, the technology progression as it happens. I mean, we are, in 20 years, what AI will take shape, we cannot predict. And that is what I said initially. We know the trend as a rain. It is the industrial revolution, AI 4.0 with intelligence is happening. It is a downward trend. The water comes down, so it is coming down. The technological singularity is going to be achieved. Okay, what shape and kind it will take in coming days, we can predict about it, we can perceive about it, and that is what being perceived and predicted about. Okay, quantum AI kind of a technology which we are now dealing with will change the entire perception of technology. Okay, we don't know about it. We are still playing. It is the initial hours of this technology. This is the first hours of this technology. We need to understand that. In coming days and months, what shape and kind it will take, we can just think, we can imagine. And some of the perspective as the industry leaders are talking about, I put in front of you guys. You guys are more intelligent than me. You have got a larger IQ than me. So I operate between, probably I've got an IQ of 90, I believe, because my wife always tells me, तुम्हें कोई बात समझ में नहीं आती है. So I know that I'm 90. But your generation, you younger people must be operating around 120, 130 IQ level. So you can think more. You can create a world in coming days. You will make that prediction happen. You need to understand and appreciate this technology and the perspective and the capacity and the capability of this technology.
Next question is, can you please tell more about bad artificial intelligence?
I couldn't get you. Can you repeat your?
Can you please tell more about bad artificial intelligence? Like you mentioned in your slides.
Bad artificial intelligence. Let me give you an example to make it understand. We call it a card-based car. So this, imagine this autonomous cars we are talking about, right? So tomorrow, what will happen? Like today, when you are driving a vehicle, okay, and you suddenly see your car breaks in, okay, and you are driving at quite a high speed, and there is a wall on the right hand side, and you have got your family on the back in your car, and on the left hand side there are two humans walking on the pedestrian. Okay, there are those two pedestrians are there on the. What you will do? You will hit the wall and save these two human beings, or you will kill the two human beings, and after that there is a maidan, a field is there, you can save yourself. So what you will do? Sanjana, kya karogi?
Sir, I actually a bit confused I am.
So what I will do, let me tell you, I'll hit the wall, right? I cannot kill human beings to save myself. Okay, I'll take my chances. I'll hit the wall, take the risk of that.
But
right?
then, sir, that would actually impact you.
Right. So I'm just saying, humans, we have got a value system, right? We don't kill other people. If we would have,
Yes.
we would have been doing it for our petty gain, the world would have been different, right? So we don't
Yes.
kill human beings. That is a value system. That is what is inculcated in us. And if you look deep down below you, I know you were confused with the question, but if you look deep down below you, you will do the same what I said. Okay?
Yes.
Hit the wall. We maybe get maimed, okay? We will be hospitalized probably, but we'll do that. We'll not kill two people to save our lives. That is how we are. That is the value system AI doesn't going to be having, right? That is what the very point is. So what if the autonomous vehicle is driving? Recently, you must have read about them that it killed a cyclist, a lady in US. Okay, and there was a big bola. क्या करोगे AI का? अब गाड़ी को टांग दोगे क्या? What is that? You can't do anything with it, right? The problem is statement is that if AI is driving and you are a passenger down below, okay, and if there is a wall on the right hand side and there are two humans walking, what it will do?
We'll hit the wall. That's
AI may not, because it doesn't have a value system like us. So it will, human for him will be like an object, two objects. It is like trees for him today. So it may hit those two objects, the human being, kill them and save the passenger, because his priority is the passenger. He's not afraid about himself. He's afraid about his passenger. That is what the training is given today. Now that is the concept. That is the ethical problem. That is the value system. Okay, about a good AI and bad AI. The good AI will not kill the people, just like this. Okay, and that is the question the AI technologies are trying to answer for. Develop the technology and create the world of the value system which we have. Okay, so different intelligence will have different loan processing. Our system will have a different value system of giving a loan to not giving a loan to a woman and giving to a man, because women are not perceived by Indian system that they can be a good entrepreneur, so probably they give it to them, because whatever we train AI is the data we generate. So if your data set is biased, then the AI is also going to be a bias, right? That is the good
yes.
AI. That is the responsible AI.
So the next question comes in. In your opinion, when could we expect AI to pass the Turing test?
AI at the Turing test was there. It is already past the Turing test. I mean, guys, you are not back into that. AI has gone beyond the Turing test. You cannot even identify. Go to Siri, go to Microsoft site on when you are maintaining your Windows. Call them up. You will be talking to an AI. You will not even know that this is a human being. You are not talking to a human being anymore. Okay. GPT-3, which is there, the voice recognition or the wavenet, which is there, the voice quality. Like, go to an example. I'll give you one site. Pichelo. Go and generate your voice on that. The text it will read and come back to you with an intonation. You cannot even imagine it is not in. Talk to Sophia. It is already beyond Turing test. Turing test was something 100 years back, which was imagined. Okay, you cannot decipher that you are talking to an AI or a human. Right?
Okay. So the next question is, the jobs marked in red shows that the more unemployment will occur in India in future. In a country like India, will AI be a boon or a curse?
So now that's a little difficult, it's a complex question to answer. Okay, but let me tell you, it will create a lot of pain. Okay, we have a lot of population still leaves. Like I'll give you one paper you can read about it, and that's the White House report on AI in US, and it talks about 2.5 million drivers will be out of job in coming because AI will take over through auto. Imagine when it comes to it. Okay, so in a decade time, it will also start coming to India. It's already there. So these same companies like General Motors, Hyundai, you go on naming Daimler, Volkswagen, if they are in US and working on it, or in Germany, they are also coming to India. Their factories are there here, right? They're producing the vehicles. So all these vehicles, autonomous vehicles will be here. You can retool and retrain. They're already talking about retool and retraining their drivers. They can do that because their education system ensures that these drivers are at least school educated. 10, 12, okay, graduates, they are there. What will happen to our drivers? We have got 1.6 crore drivers on our street. The Uber drivers, the truck drivers, and they are not even third standard pass. How are you going to retool and retrain them? IBM is talking about precision agriculture. AI is looking after sowing the seed, growing it up in terms of weather.com data, how much water it requires, AI is going to do, right? So growing it up, reaping it, AI is going to do that, and then processing it. So वो गेहूं बनाना जिसको बोलते हो ना, धान से चावल, so processing the food, so processing it, and then cooking it and bringing it on the table, serve it to you. This is the entire life cycle of a precision agriculture. IBM calls it precision agriculture. If this is happening, and it is already there, by the way, so if this is happening, what will happen to our farmers? Okay, they are not educated. You know the illiteracy rate. I don't know what the illiteracy rate is. It is around 28.7% at this time in India. So
Yes,
you can well imagine,
no.
right? Huh? How much?
Somewhat around, I guess. I don't know the exact.
So let's imagine it is 28.7. It may be a few points down, a few points above. Doesn't matter much. But there is a large population in our villages who cannot be taught anything. So AI, as it is walking in, it will create a lot of pain for India. Okay, and we have to go. But then it will create a lot of opportunities also. It will bring a lot of prosperity also. Only thing is the nature of job will change. Okay, so nature of job will change. We'll be requiring AI analysts, or I was reading one TDLR or something. Okay, so you will start reading data analysts, data scientists, AI analysts. Okay, all those people will be start getting required. In a management sense, you will start looking at all those roles will be coming in and different jobs. Okay, so probably the nature of job will change. So it will add 25 trillion to our economy. So more prosperity and richness will be there. We need to become to the party. Okay, more startups and entrepreneurship is definitely required.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, AI is considered to be juggernaut of modern era, and as you have said, that by 2030 humans will not be given a license to drive. But from what I have read, that artificial intelligence autonomous driving technology will take decades, if not years. So please shed some light on this.
So you can do your predictions. There are a lot of theorems around 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I cannot predict that. Autonomous vehicles are already level 3 now. It is already doing pizza delivery. You can hit YouTube. You can see they're doing pizza delivery in US. It is ferrying people. Uber is already ferrying people in Philadelphia. They have launched it already. Okay. They are doing a long overall truck. The AI is driving those trucks. So it is already there. When it reaches level 5, where it will take over completely the driving life cycle, how far it is, few years, but you know how technology works, right? You can predict yes, it can happen in next 2 years, okay? Because it is growing with an exponential rate, okay? Leaps and bounds, dramatically technology is changing. AI is changing, okay? You can take your pick. You're open.
Yes. So that was the last question.
Thank you.
So I would like to thank you, Mr. Kundan Kumar, sir, for visiting and enlightening us with his knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gave us a deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. I would also like to thank all the faculty members, corporate guests, students from across India for their presence.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Kundan sir, for taking out time and coming and talking about this thing which is going to be the future. And there is no doubt, I remember that in mine and your lifetime we have seen the IT boom, where people thought that when IT is going to come in, it's going to take away jobs. But on the other side we saw that different types of jobs came up, and that is where and even if you look at AI, if AI is the future, then we have to change the way we have to actually incorporate AI into everything what we do, and then we are secured. So that's that is something which I think this changes keep happening from time to time, and in our lives we have seen these two changes which have been happening. And I'm sure the students have been enlightened with that whether it's entrepreneurs, they should always think of leveraging AI, because that's going to be the future.
Absolutely, and that's the message. Okay, the generation has to take care. They need to understand and start living. जिसको आत्मसात करना बोलते हैं ना, they understand technology and internalize it. They will add a lot of value to themselves and to the country. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir, and we'll be in touch. And
Absolutely, Javita. Take care.
right.
Thank you, Sanjana.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.